Hello, Camilla here. Welcome to the day 6 of Christmas card series. And this time I'll show you how to make a cool, festive and elegant shaker card, where the shakers are actually the centers of the bulbs. I'll be going with the red, blue and white color combination, and I'll be using this Hero Arts stamp set, Decorate Your Christmas. It's an old stamp set, but I really love these bulbs and the sentiment. So I'm trying to figure out how to place my bulbs, and as you can see I cut off the top of the round one because I realized that I never really use it on my cards, and if I still want to use it I can just stamp it on top of any of the bulbs, but I usually just use the shapes and then add the string some other way. So I'm using a Versamark ink, it's a sticky ink for embossing, to stamp the middle bulb, and I'm gonna use the Wow Opaque White embossing powder to emboss it, to heat emboss it actually. And you can use your dry paintbrush to remove all the excess of the embossing powder. And here it is, all shiny after heat embossed. And now I'm going to add two of these round bulbs, which I am also gonna stamp and heat emboss. And then I'm gonna use one of the circle dies and die cut the centers of these bulbs using my sizzix die cutting machine. And so after I die cut my circles, as you can see there was a little bit of white embossing on the edges, so I scratched it off using my X-Acto knife, but later on I actually fixed it in some other way. And now to create my shakers and add some depth to the card and dimension, I'm using the fun foam, and I use the pencil to draw where I want the circles to be, so that they align with the already pre-cut circles in the front. And now I'm removing the adhesive, and I'm gonna adhere it on my card front. And then I realized I forgot my transparency, so I peeled off my fun foam, like I was lucky enough to not press too hard, and I added some additional double-sided tape inside and adhered my transparency. And now that's done, I'm gonna use some metallic glass beads from a MacLeod brand and put inside. I really love them because they're really tiny and they will look awesome inside of a shaker. So I'm using some double-sided tape as well as Tumble Mono liquid glue, and now I'm going to add those tiny beads. Some of them went all around the place, but it was easy to pick up. And I also decided I'm gonna use some patterned vellum on top of these shakers because it's actually easier to place it evenly later on that piece of white cardstock. So now I have that ready. I'm also gonna use some double-sided tape to adhere that piece to the white cardstock at the background. And now I'm gonna use this old mouse pad to create holes using a needle, because I'll be threading some of the little black twine as the threads for the bulbs. And please believe me, it was not easy to thread that needle with that twine. It took me quite a long time, but when I did, and when I actually put it on the card, I thought it looked really, really beautiful. So here I am adding the kind of contrasting color. I went with blue and red and white, so I'm choosing the blue for this card. And at the end of the video you can see that I also created another card with the opposite color combination. And so here's the first thread, and here's the finished threads for all three bulbs, and you can see how awesome these cute little metal beads look inside of the bulbs. And so now I'm going with the sentiment from the Boughs and Holly Lawn Fawn stamp set. It's an older stamp set, and actually apparently first I'm going to add some double-sided tape and adhere the card front to the card base. The card base is blue, Just like I said in the beginning, I'm using blue, red and white as my color combination for this card. And back to the sentiment, I first actually stamped it on the vellum and I used the zinc embossing powder, but you can see the glue sticking through the vellum, so I stamped it again on some Neenah Solar White cardstock. I heat embossed it and I am fussy cutting it to add it on the front of my card. And you can see that this was the older sentiment. I ripped the card front a little bit, but when I'm gonna add the sentiment, nobody will ever know there was any tears. And here it is. And I was surprised how this card turned out, because I had a general initial idea, but I just started coming up with new and new ideas, and I really am happy with this one. I hope you will like it too. And so now I took a different lawn phone stamp set. It's a Param-pa-pam-pam, and I stamped a few bows. I first colored them red, and then I realized that I need them in blue, so I'm stamping them once again. I'm using my Pro markers to color them in, and I'm gonna add them on top of the bulbs. And so now I fussy cut the bows. I'm gonna add them on top of each of the bulbs, and I'm gonna adhere them using double-sided tape, and then I'm gonna go in with some Wink Stella as well as glossy accents to trap all the beautiful sparkle on top of each of the bowls. And as much as I like the cards as they were right here, I decided that I need to cover up the leftover of that white embossing on each edge of the bulbs, the round bulbs. So I die cut using two different sizes of circular dies, these round frames. I'm using my scissor to just cut out that little piece where the sentiment is, as I couldn't detach it from the card anymore. And I'm gonna kind of tuck it in underneath the sentiment, so no one will ever know that I added this at the very end, apart from all of you who are watching this video, of course. So I'm using Tombow Mono Liquid Glue to adhere them. I hope you liked how the cards turned out at the very end with this additional round frame. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed day 6 of Christmas card series, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will see you again soon on Monday with the next video of day 7 of Christmas card series. And for now, have a great and crafty day and enjoy your weekend. Bye!